Mr. Pink, Modern Synthesis, otherwise known as Nicholas Jones, and I'm here today with Nicholas. I don't know how to pronounce your last name. Tredigo?
Tricky Joe.
Treggy Joe?
Yeah.
Okay, Nicholas Treggy Joe. And this is the inaugural episode of Too Many Nicks. Nick and I know each other through Between the Bolter and Me, and there's this joke that we're like Arch Nick and Other Nick and whatever. So we had this idea of doing a podcast called Too Many Nicks. Made me think of Flight of the Conchords. Too many Nicks.
Yeah.
Too many Nicks. So I asked Nick to come on and do this kind of like hard and fast podcast thing with me and see how it goes. So thanks for joining, Nick.
No problem at all. A pleasure to be here.
Awesome. All right. So first up, what are you working on right now?
At the moment, I'm actually in a bit of a hobby rut. I'm kind of stuck between a load of different projects that have been buzzing around in my mind, and I just don't really know what to start with, really. I've kind of got the Age of Sigmar bug again,
Okay.
but I've also got my Titans that I'm working on, and I've got the War in the Eye, more Space Marines, and stuff like that. So it's all a bit yeah.
For anyone who isn't following Nick yet, he's also, I should have mentioned this right away, he's Cordal on Instagram. So that's K0RDHAL. And he mentioned his Titans. You can check out a bunch of his Titans on his Instagram profile right there. Okay, well, maybe after doing this preview thing, you'll be inspired to do some other stuff. I don't know, as we plant ideas in each other's heads about models.
Hopefully.
Yeah. In terms of what I'm working on right now, I've apparently caught the Frostgrave bug. My good buddy Hydra, Simon Schnitzler, we did like a second follow-up interview with him on the weekend. He was talking about Frostgrave, and he was telling me about how he's got this setup with all these different cameras to be able to play a miniature game remotely, which I thought was kind of cool. And I was like, oh, that's great. Now we can play Frostgrave remotely, because he introduced me to it, but he lives in Germany. And he's like, okay, yeah, make 5 models. I'm like, you bastard. I thought I was just going to play with 5 models you already had. So I'm now making a Frostgrave band, apparently. So should we jump right into the preview stuff?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so for this episode of Too Many Nicks, we're going to review the previews that were announced on Saturday, because we talked about it kind of with Between the Bolter and Me guys, but Nick wasn't on that one. So I was eager to hear his opinions of this stuff, particularly because we've got a nice, sexy Necron here, and I know he's a big fan of Necrons. So what we're going to do is we're going to do fast beats. We're going to go through each of the different, like the Gargants, the Necrons, whatever, and just kind of give our quick thoughts about them. We're going to endeavor to keep it at about 30 seconds, but we'll see. And then at the end, we'll do like a kind of deeper dive into the various parts. All right, so let's try it out. All right, so first up, we have the biggest reveal of all time, the Gargants. So Nick, hit me. What do you think?
Fantastic. Really cool release. Nice building on the original like giant model that they released, which was so seminal years and years ago. I think it's going to be a hoard of bits for people, even if they don't want to use the giants for their original purpose.
Awesome. And do you have of the 3 that they showed here, is there one that stands out most for you?
I actually like the first one.
Oh yeah, the one with the kind of horns on his back?
Yeah.
Yeah? Cool. And what do you like most about him?
I don't know. I just like the pose. I like the vibe. I like the scattered like shields sewn into his loincloth. Just really like it.
Awesome. I feel the same way about this one. I think this was probably one of the most impressive parts of the reveal. My favorite one is the nautical themed one, because of course it's got a tentacle, and I love tentacles. But just like the netting on his belly, all that stuff. And the thing that really destroyed it for me was the detail on the skin of these guys. Like you can't really, I don't know if you can really see it, but on like the arms and like in the like armpits and around the knees, you can see like the folds in the skin.
Yeah.
Which is some crazy level detail. So yeah, pretty excited about this one. Okay, any other thoughts about the Gargants?
I just kind of want to see what people do with them when they get their sort of grubby mitts on this.
Yes, I definitely agree. All right, next, let's move on to Blackstone Fortress. So for Blackstone Fortress, I think it was an expansion for Ascension, and the model that they previewed was the Guardian drone, which is kind of a giant spindle drone. So what do you think?
Love it. Absolutely love it. Unfathomable eldritch monstrosities are my favorite, and this is just such a good starting point. It's so alien, it's so distinct. I just wish the entire Blackstone Fortress set had been this rather than Chaos.
That is a good point. I'm behind you on that one. It would have been so cool if Blackstone, like the geometry of Blackstone Fortress was this and like weird
Yeah.
alienness. But hopefully that's something that they're leaning into. I also love it. The only thing that I'm not crazy about for this one is the weird shape on top, because I feel like everything else is so alien, but then it's got this like arc kind of looks like
Yeah, I
iron
see what you
cross or
mean.
something. So that's not doing it for me, but I love these models, and I really like the spindle drones, and it's good to see a bigger version of them, and then kind of nods to the greater spindle drone kind of hierarchy with the little
Yeah.
tiny ones and then like the normal one and the giant one. Cool. All right, next up, Warcry. We've got the K-Knight Shadow Stalkers. Night is our weapon. Ooh. So
It's
go for it.
it's eh, really. It's just
Really?
some of the stuff I've seen for Art Warcry. Like I like the dude with the crossbows,
Yeah.
but it's more dark elf stuff. It's not
Yeah.
particularly. I can see they're going to be fantastic for people who want to do Drakari and
Yeah.
like Dark Elder stuff. But for me, it's a bit of an air release.
Interesting. I don't know why that surprises me, but I don't know. I think they're pretty friggin' cool. I like the weird shadow casting effects they're doing. Um,
Mm.
like with the scythe, like casting the shadow underneath that. Like I don't know if she's a wizard, a mage or something. But I thought they were cool. The interesting part about this is only 3 models from a larger warband, so we're not seeing the full warband right
Oh,
now.
okay. Well,
But
we might hopefully see something good.
yeah, well, if you're not feeling this, I don't know if you're gonna feel the larger warband.
Oh, it may surprise me.
Okay, cool. All right. So next up, we had Warhammer Age of Sigmar. Lumineth mage lady with the smoky chalice and the veil. You spotted this. Weren't you really into this veil when we were talking about it before?
Yeah, I absolutely love this model. It has such classical vibes. I love the fact they're vibing off Greco-Roman sculpture, and it just looks like an oracle or something. It's fantastic. I love the model.
Interesting. I have no feelings for this model. I think it's kind of boring and overdone. Like it's nicely done, but like the weird thing sticking out of her hips, the giant chalice that she's holding with the
Mm.
smoke, and I don't know. It just seems overwrought to me. Um,
I yeah, I could you could pare it back, but I just think for bits wise and conversion wise, it's going to be phenomenal.
oh, you're probably right. Yeah. Yeah, I could see some really creepy stuff happening with the veil face.
Mm.
All right. There's some close-ups. They mentioned that like in her giant goblet of fire is like elven gems that are being smoky and cool. So I guess there's a view of the elven gems there. But it's fine. I'm just not crazy about it. All right, Blood Bowl. I know you were waiting for this. Snotlings. What are your thoughts?
They've got character, but I don't know, like the Blood Bowl is kind of like the silly bits of Warhammer turned up to 11,
Yep.
and conversion fodder. I'd be really interested to see what people do with them, but I'm not going to pick them up, certainly.
Yes. Neither am I. I think they're fun, and I like that. Like you said, Blood Bowl is fun. I like that part. And I am interested to see what the Goblin lovers do because there's a lot of them out there. I just realized this one guy's wearing a sock. That's really weird. He's like got
Mm.
one giant sock on. So, but yeah, I'm the only part of these that I'm really intrigued by is their weird ball things that they're like riding around and throwing around.
Yeah, the rock squig
Is
looking
that what that
things.
is?
I don't know. I just presume that I'm just made up a name for them. So
Oh, well, sounds convincing to me. I have no idea. Yeah, I'm not that excited about these either. Let's move on. Horus Heresy. Saul Tarvitz, I think is this guy's name. I know nothing about this guy. Do you know anything about this guy?
original loyalist guy who warned them about the Horus betraying like them when he was about to drop the bombs on Istvan.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's a squatty marine.
it
Like
is.
there's some nice details. I'm sure some people can salvage something. The head's pretty good, but other than that,
I have absolutely nothing to say about this because it's a space
yeah.
marine.
Well, unsurprising.
Well, like you said, it's a squatty marine. I have a lot of like I don't love Space Marines, but I can respect Primaris. But this just looks like old school Space Marines. Like his face is kind of interesting, but and his sword is kind of interesting, but that's it for me. All right, moving along. Here's the money shot. So Psychic Awakening Pariah. This is, I think, where the
Yep.
good stuff lives. So let's start with this beautiful Necron dude right here. Illuminar Saraz? Am I pronouncing that right?
Cesaras or whatever.
Okay.
Wow. Like, I mean, wow. Like, that is a Necron.
Yeah.
like, like the detail with the weird, like, flesh vortex, all the other little bits that they've added, his, like, pose, the guy, the unfortunate on his base. It looks fantastic, especially in comparison to the older model.
Yeah. Oh, there was a model for him before.
Yeah, it was really naff.
Oh, I should go find it. One sec. I didn't realize because they've got all these like Necron characters, and I'm not paying enough attention to Necrons. So I didn't know that there was one for him, but let's see if I can find it.
First image result.
That one.
Yeah.
Okay, so he was kind of squatty with multiple legs. Okay, I see. Interesting. So yes, definitely an upgrade. One hell of an upgrade. Yeah, on my end, I'm not crazy about Necrons. I think I kind of think about Necrons the way that you think about Tyranids, that they're kind of samey. I might have slightly more love for their weirdness, but this guy is amazing. Like this guy looks like a Necron. Yeah, this was basically the reason why I wanted to make sure we did this, because I wanted to hear what you thought about him. So we're going to come back to him and say a little bit more about him, but let's continue on. Okay, and then we've got the Inquisitor, Kyria Draxus.
Really like her. I really like her armor. Like, it's not boob plate. It doesn't look silly. It's a nice, different female character, different to the art, like Sister of Battle. Cool little familiar. I like the fact that she's a radical. They haven't done a model of a radical Inquisitor before, except for Inquisitor the game.
Yeah.
I think she's a really nice one. I know some people dislike her, but I think she's going to be brilliant conversion fodder, and I actually just like the model.
Yeah, I agree. I really like the model. I actually hadn't realized that she doesn't have boob plate on, and that's really inspiring for me. I think she's really cool, and like you mentioned, she's not a Sister of Battle. She's something else. I like that she's got her own power armor that looks different and like maybe inquisitorial or something like that. I hadn't noticed that they'd never done a radical Inquisitor before. I thought surely one of those what is it, the Ordo Hereticus or whatever, the Sisters of Battle Inquisitors. I thought one of those might have been radical, but
no, they've only done generic Inquisitors.
Yeah, and I guess she's Ordo Xenos.
Yeah,
which I'm all about. And I'm all about radical Ordo Xenos because that means they like them some aliens, and I like me some aliens. Awesome, yeah. Yeah, like some other things. I think I can't remember who it was. Someone mentioned that this design of Shuriken catapult is actually the classical design. That the new ones have the big magazine sticking at the bottom, and the old ones have these wheels on them. So that's pretty cool that they're harkening back to that. Okay, and then the second last thing. I don't know if you have many thoughts on the Warhammer Storyforge reveal. It's just some pictures of sisters.
The proof's in the pudding. Like until I see the basic, like the animation, I don't know. I don't really have any opinion either way. Yeah. It looks like it's an interesting design, but whether it works in motion is going to be the real thing.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, it looks fine. I'm like you would like to see it in animation. All right, and then the final two models. Let's go. Who should we start with? Which one do you want to start with, Nick?
Let's start with the nice one.
Oh, would that be this one?
No.
Maybe this one. Go for it. Sister Fantastic. Tariana Palos.
Really nice model. The face continues to show how like good GW is getting. Really, really nice. I'm probably not going to pick her up, but I think she's a lovely release, really.
Yeah, I agree. I hadn't actually noticed how detailed the face was until right now, because I'd seen like a smaller picture of her, but you can really see it in this one. I'm actually thinking about buying her, which would make her my first Sister of Battle.
Oh
Um,
wow.
the only thing I'd want to change on her would be give her a smaller bolter. I guess
Yep.
the weirs are rubbing off on me, but I think that then she'd be perfect. Like she's really, really amazing. So yeah. All right, and to the other part of this exclusive release, Lexicanum Varus, Terminator Librarian.
I after seeing Abaddon, come on,
Yeah,
how can
yeah.
you do this to a Terminator? Like he has cool details. The head. If I was forced at gunpoint to buy this model, I would only use the head because he looks like his shoulders are all over the place.
Yeah,
It annoys me. They had Abaddon, and then they were just like, let's just chuck out like this librarian who looks like he's dislocated both of his shoulders
yeah.
up here.
It's really beetly, like the shoulders and the back plate. Like I feel like it's even more than, or maybe it's something with the waist, or waist, the part below his rib cage and above his legs. Um, I don't know if that's different and it looks smaller, but it just makes everything above it look so much bigger.
Yeah, it's just ugh.
If you put a gun to my head and told me to use one part of this, it would be his little sensor on his shoulder. That's it.
I like the head. The head is cool.
The head's fine, but you chose that, so I figure like I had to choose something else. This
Yeah,
this thing on
I
his
can vibe with the sensor.
I don't know. Anyway, all right. So that's the this one. Like it makes me wonder that if they sculpted this a long time ago and they had it in the backlog and they're like, oh, we just got to get this out. Especially like looking at this and like it's unfortunate that they've set up this webpage in such a way that you can look at them both beside each other and compare them because it's
Night and
clearly
day.
yeah like different companies. Anyway, so that I think that wraps up all the releases. So yeah, what I wanted to do next was I wanted to do a little bit of predictions. So I don't know if we either one of us said which one's our favorite. So I want to see if we can predict each other's favorite. So should I start or should you start?
I think I'll start.
Okay.
I think your favorite is the dark elf warband Shadow Lady.
Oh, wait, did I say we should do favorites and predict what we're going to use them for? Was that my?
Oh yeah, I can do that as well because
Okay, go for
I
it.
thought you were going to do the homunculus for
This
your
shadow
homunculus
lady or the
cover.
one that's casting the shadow forward?
The casting one.
This one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be cool. I hadn't considered that. I I do like these models, and I think I could find some good uses for them, but I don't know that they're my favorites.
Oh, okay.
It's weird, but I think my favorites are the Gargants.
Oh, nice. Good choice.
Just I don't know, like you said, bits for days. I don't do fantasy, but like for some reason, I just want to make one of these into a giant patriarch. I don't really know
Ooh,
why, but anyway,
that'd be
that's me.
incredible.
All right, my prediction for you is the Guardian drones.
Ah, oh, damn it, you got me.
Yes.
I absolutely love them. They're so damn good.
As soon as I saw them, I'm like, why isn't Nick here? I want him to tell me about how he's going to make this into a weird psychic titan for Adeptus Titanicus.
Oh no, I've already got some ideas. I was like, I need to see their size in comparison to the Titanicus models so I can work out how to convert them into some weird ass titans.
Yeah. No, as soon as I saw them. So I was like, yes, okay, I nailed it. All right. Point me.
Yep.
Okay. Next, what part are you disappointed with? Like, what do you think could have been so much better? But doesn't have to be terrible. But if there's any like one thing where you're like, I just wish.
I don't know. Like for me, I think it's going to be the Warcry because I feel like Warcry is a place where they can be a bit more left field.
Yeah.
And they've done it with some of the Chaos Warbands. They've been really interesting explorations of stuff. And this just seems playing it a bit safe. Like I would have liked to have seen like a group of elves like completely wacky, like from a realm or whatever, and just do these a bit different. But they seem to have just played it. It's nice, but it's safe.
Yeah, like kind of standard dark elf. Like when I saw this, the lead lady Shadowcaster, whatever, I actually I asked for a second, isn't that a model from Silver Tower? It looked like
Hmm.
that leaping, I don't know, whatever War Witch Silver Tower miniature. Yeah, I guess they could. You're right that like Warcry has been so out there in such a good way that these don't seem that out there. Like to me, they seem kind of reasonably human proportions, sort of. But other than that, yeah, you're right. They could have done more. Um, in terms of, I don't actually know what I'm disappointed with. Um, I'm not really disappointed with anything in here. Oh, and to be clear, we made it. We said that we couldn't choose the Horus Heresy one. I think we're all maybe a little bit, or I should have extended that to the Terminator because the Terminator Librarian is probably also an easy pick. Um,
Hmm.
I don't. Maybe it's this elf lady. Um, she's fine, but I just feel like the rest of that line right now is just so crazy and like impressive that she just seems too busy and cluttered to me.
Hmm.
So I don't know. I don't know if that's disappointment, but that's the one I'm least excited about.
I think you tone it down. It should look a lot more striking.
Yeah, like take her headdress right off.
Oh yeah, the
And
giant like thing. I
maybe
thought you meant the nice cloth bit. I was like,
no,
whoa,
no, no, no.
buddy.
The croissant over her head. Let's
Yeah.
take that off. Let's like tone down the waist belt, sticky outy bit, and I think I'd be more into it. Like if the goblet was smaller, I'd be sold. But
Yep.
okay, so next up, sleeper bits. Like sleeper hits, something that you didn't see coming.
Mm.
That's going to be amazing. What sleeper bits do you think there's going to be in this? It doesn't have to
I
be a
actually think
Go for it.
it's gonna be the guy that you just scroll past. The guy's twin crossbows.
Oh, yeah. Tell me more.
For inquisitorial acolytes, for
Yes.
fantasy. They're nicely sized crossbows. They're not too ostentatious. They've kind of got like
Yeah.
that little bit of revolver look underneath it.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be used quite a lot. And I actually think maybe the whole guy is going to be used a lot. Slap a rebreather on him
Yeah.
and some other bits, and he fits into 40k. So I think he's going to be quite popular.
Good call. And you're right that those crossbows, the cool thing about them is that they actually have like a crossbow, God, what's the line? String?
Yeah.
Whereas most of their bows don't have that. I guess the newer ones might. But you're right that they're not that ostentatious. Like they don't look like dark elf crossbows. They just look like cool little crossbows. Good choice. Um God, I can't remember what order all this stuff is in. I think for me, it's the weird little spindle mini drones. Like
Oh.
I love with the Guardian drones that I promise I'll shut up about these Guardian drones soon. But I love that there's like 3 stages of like the spindle drone life cycle. You have like the big giant mama drone, you have like the normal child drone, and then you got like the little tiny baby drones. Like I don't think it's going to be a big conversion piece, but I just think that that's one of the cooler little nods. They didn't have to put that there. That's basically like base scenery. But with that base scenery, they gave you this little hint about a greater like spindle drone race or like spindle drone hierarchy or something.
Yeah, it's really like I can see some like really cool stuff actually coming out of the mini bits.
Yeah. So anyway, I just want more spindle drone. Hook me up. They're good times. Okay, so that was that. And then, the last bit that I wanted to go through was because you're a big Necron fan and because we
Yep.
got a new Necron for the first time, tell me about Illuminar Seraz. Because I don't know anything about him. Like, what do people need to know about him? What's his
Basically,
deal?
he's some dude who's like, well, like we got put in these metal bodies and they're all well and good, but it basically ate our souls and we need to be back in our biological bodies.
Oh,
And like he is searching and he's basically got like a big tomb world where they capture all sorts of Xenos species and humans and try and find a way to build the perfect body so they can kind of like go back.
oh. So is he the guy who, like, didn't he have, like, Rabute Gilliman or something in a prison or some.
No, that's the crazy collector guy who's
Oh, Tarzan or something?
yeah, Trazin.
That guy. Oh, sorry. Okay. But this guy collects Xenos.
Well, he collects and then experiments and distills them down to genetics and vivisects them and all sorts of nasty, unpleasant things to find out what makes them tick and whether they're suitable hosts for the return of the Necron.
Interesting. That's good fluff. Okay, so what is this like? Looking at this model, what are you hoping for if this is the first step into new Necrondom? Like, what are you seeing? What are you liking?
More moving back towards, I think they need to redo the warriors, and I think they need to make them a little bit more ornamented, like make them look dynastic. If they're going to lean into this dynastic thing, make them look like, yeah, okay, these are the bog standard dudes, but they have like ornamentation, and yeah, it's nice. Like, he looks like a Necron to me.
Yes.
Like,
yeah, I would have to agree with that. Do you think that this is like a hint that new Necrons are coming?
I certainly hope so.
Yeah. Oh man, when I saw because they show the preview kind of like silhouette of some of the models before they release them, and in the silhouette I saw the like vials on his arm thing, and I've just been trolled so many times because like those vials, when they're in silhouette and you can't really see the detail, they could be Dark Eldar, they could be anything. So they've just been putting these vials everywhere, and it drives me crazy because every time I'm like, oh wait.
But he has so many bits that could go on a homunculus, like all the different armatures and the little doofy dabs and the flesh portal.
One thing I realized is that I think this thing on his shoulder, the like green C-shaped thing, I think that was in the rumor posts or whatever.
Yeah, it's one of the rumor engines.
Yeah, I wonder how many other of those are in here. But, well, there you go, Nick. You got your first new Necron. Are you going to buy him?
I probably will, especially for the bits. I just wish that swirly bit was available when I made my cool big Titan that I need to finish off.
Oh, the swirly blood bit?
Yeah.
Wait, is that on your Instagram?
It's not. I posted it on it's not quite finished yet, so.
Okay, gotcha. Oh, you're one of those people who only post finished miniatures. Man, I envy you.
Maybe I'll post a work in progress.
Yeah, you could do that. Awesome. Well, I think that was all I really wanted to go through. Did you have any thoughts about this release in general compared to like this preview in general compared to the other ones that we've seen recently?
Significantly better preview, a lot more stuff, really. Yeah. I think there's going to be this stuff is going to be bits fodder for years to come, really.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, once they start actually releasing it again, once they figure that out, but we'll see. Cool. Is there anything else that you wanted to talk about or plug or anything like that?
Not really. Just sort of getting my inspiration glands filled up and ready to sort of jump back in with whatever project takes my fancy, really.
Well, did it work? Are your inspiration glands filled up? Are you...
Yeah, I could feel them. They're ticking away now. I've got some ideas.
Awesome. Okay, well, I guess we did our job then. Yep. And that thus concludes our first experimental episode of Too Many Nicks. I have no idea if I'll ever do it again, but we tried it once, and we'll see how it goes.
Well, it's been plenty of fun. Thank you very much for having me on.
Awesome. Thanks so much for coming on, Nick.